Alrighty, guys, we're back for Gruel Slime Against Humanity, and this is a murder set Karlov Manor, standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked, but first things first, this was a challenge down in the comments to try and build a deck with 0 non-land permanents, so thank you so much for the challenge. It was really fun to put together. Got 16 Slime Against Humanities in here. It's a 3-mana sorcery. And a deck can have any number of cards named Slime Against Humanity. Nice. You get to create a 0/0 green ooze creature token with Trample, and then you put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is 2 plus the total number of cards you own in exile and in your graveyard that are oozes or are named Slime Against Humanity. Really neat card, guys, and what we're going to be pairing this with is actually Invoke Calamity. A 5-mana instant speed, rocking 4 red pips up there. Hopefully that doesn't hold us up too often though. So you may cast up to 2 instant and or sorcery spells with total mana value 6 or less from your graveyard and or hand without paying their mana costs. If those spells would be put into your graveyard, you exile them instead, and then you exile Invoke Calamity. Yeah, so Invoke Calamity and then cast 2 Slime Against Humanities potentially back from your graveyard. They go into exile, and then those in exile will work with future Slime Against Humanity plays as well. So all that just seems really cool to me. So we have some ways to generate more tokens and more early chump blockers. Hopefully those chump blockers help us survive long enough, with Rouse Reinforcements, by the way. I forgot to mention the name. Hopefully those help us survive long enough to get our board wipes. We have like 3 Brotherhood's End in here, and also 3 Burn Down the House. And then Burn Down the House can also generate tokens, as we have a small token theme in here. It's one of the ways to restock our hand is actually going to be Audience of Trostani. This is a 3-mana sorcery speed. You get to create a 0/1 green plant creature token, then draw cards equal to the number of differently named creature tokens you control. So it's always going to be 1, hopefully, half of the plant, right? But more often than not in this build, I do think you're going to be able to pull off like draw 3 on this. So that should be pretty cool. More ways to stock up the grave and also just help us survive early on, like Seed of Hope. That life gain goes the extra mile. Also rocking a Felonious Rage in here, because I think it would be pretty cool to slap some haste on a nice chunky slime at some point too, and that honestly might help you wrap up the game sooner. Not going to go over the mana base right now, but we do have some honorable mentions I wanted to talk about. Thought about Invoke the Ancients in here, as it would totally be possible to cast in here off of like the Invoke Calamity, so that could be pretty cool. Same concept with Titania's Command also would give us more tokens in here, more different named tokens, because those are bear tokens for the Audience of Trostani. Yeah, guys, we're going to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video after we get some games in, and we'll also potentially make some changes to the build before I upload it, so look forward to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead, hop into some ranked, and see how we do. Okay, we'll see if we can get right into that first game here. Heck yeah, we do. What am I expecting from the build? Oh, buddy, super jank. But it's going to be a ton of fun, huh? Okay, opponent goes first. Oh boy. Pretty slow hand. I mean, I don't know if we can expect much else, though. Like, if we mulligan, this could get a lot worse. We could see a lot less land, for example. Anything like that. Generous Visitor. Okay. Well, our board wipe's definitely going to come in handy. Another Slime Against Humanity isn't terrible, but are we going to be able to... Yeah, I don't know. The setup in this hand is very, very slow. Another Burn Down the House could come in handy. But let's be real, Celestia enchantments can easily get over that 5 damage. Okay, there's our second mana on the board. I think we're going to have to chump with our first slime token. Of course, until they get some trample on these with Audacity and whatnot. Invasion of Theros. Nice. Very nice. They'll be able to flip that right away, since we ended up playing nothing. They grab an Ossification. That easily cleans up the Slime Against Humanity. So Brotherhood's End off the top would be best case scenario, dude. Absolutely. Although it does not hit the... It does not hit the Ever Sheltering here. Lifelink indestructible as long as you control at least 3 or more enchantment. Okay. The 3rd mana comes down. We do have like 26 mana in here, by the way, so we should be able to see the mana over the next couple turns to get to that burn down the house. But like I said, I think Selesnya enchantments will be able to get over this quite nicely. A couple chump blockers on Ral's Reinforcements. If we go Slime Against Humanity, they immediately pick it up. Ral's Reinforcements would have been much better last turn to just have, right? But it wasn't a bad draw overall, as long as we see some mana off the top here. So Ossification can pick one up. They can still full swing, and we still have a little bit of a chump here, but we are on the run, dude. Yeah, but if we can survive a couple turns for burn down the house, or if we can get a land off the top and survive a couple turns, right? Like there's a lot that needs to line up to get that burn off. So if we don't see land next turn, then I guess at this point, Brotherhood's End would still be pretty good as long as they don't get these to 4. So maybe they still spread this out wide. They go up to 5 there. That's not too bad for us. That is going to give that indestructible and lifelink. It really comes down to what we see off the top here, I'd say. We're definitely chumping that 7/7. They still have enough for the ossification if they want us to have less chump blocks. They sure do. So with a 4th mana, off the top, our next turn is just looking like a Slime Against Humanity anyways, which is once again going to have to chump. And then somehow we'll have to not take 9. So even if we see a mana, we're in big trouble here, man. Okay, this is going to be our turn 4. It's going to be a Slime Against Humanity. Oh, no. Well, I could only imagine this is a GG opponent, right? Because probably going to drop another piece of removal. Even if it's not. Oh, Seed of Hope in here. Seed of Hope. They got the teachings in this one too. It's a little bit of a different version of Selesnya enchantments, which we can appreciate for sure, right? Like we don't always see Invasion of Theros in Selesnya enchantments either. It's pretty good though. What do you guys think? 1 of? 2 of? I like Invasion of Theros. Dude, good game opponent. Yeah, no, we pretty much knew the removal was coming down because Selesnya enchantments is packed full of the enchantment removals. So what could that game have looked like? I think the only hope would have been a Brotherhood's End, and so maybe a mulligan at the beginning. Because even on our turn 4, like we had the mana we needed for the first 3 turns. Oh, maybe if we went first, there would have been a chance of survival too. Like just 1 extra turn of survival until we actually got the burn down the house. But I do think they were going to get their creatures above the burn down the house. Yeah, I think Selesnya enchantments was going to be a really tough matchup. I think that would have heavily leaned towards them regardless of what we saw. All right, opponent, what you bring it to the table, buddy? Some mono black mid-range, maybe? I'll tell you what, guys, we are seeing a huge amount of variety here in Standard. I'd say the deck that I'm seeing the most right now is Boros. Boros go wide, dude. And you can see why people are playing it. It's a pretty fun style of deck. Right, so like this hand, but last game, right? Yeah, dude. Okay, let's do this. Because like we actually have the turn 2 Rouse Reinforcements, which then we could have chumped for a little bit while they established more of a board state for the Brotherhood's End. But we probably would have panicked and dropped Brotherhood's End early anyways before they actually were able to get the counters above the 3/3. Okay, a couple Slime Against Humanities. Oh, it might be mono white mid-range then. All right, Rouse Reinforcements. Let's get some tokens on this board. Resolute Reinforcements. Hey, dropping all the reinforcements. So it's not mid-range. They just had the oh, speaking of the devil, huh? We got some Boros. I like that the Boros build is running Thran Portal quite confidently, man, because they don't expect the game to go on for too long, and it makes a lot of sense. It's pretty solid mana fixing when you don't expect the game to go on that long, you know? I'm gonna wait on the Brotherhood's end. We're gonna be patient here. Go ahead and get the Slime Against Humanity down. It is sorcery speed. That's a 2/2. Warden. You have to be careful with the Warden. Make sure that its butt doesn't go above that 3 damage. Oh, speaking of the butt going above the 3 damage. 4/4. Well, at least we got Burn Down the House in hand, right? Okay. Right. We could swing. I really doubt they block. And then the second board wipe will be coming eventually. Okay, first of all, we're going to be playing this. We're going to be playing that as a land. I think if they block, we'll wipe the board and keep Seed of Hope open. If they don't block, we'll play the second Slime Against Humanity, right? They block. So so we wipe this board, right? Because we have the second board wipe in hand and we're only 1 mana away from it. And then Seed of Hope is open. And then that could stock up our grave with more Slime Against Humanities potentially too. What's really funny about Seed of Hope is that's all it's in here for. Like, other than that, we could grab a land off of it. Which actually would be pretty good, because then we'll have our 5th land for the Burn Down the House when it comes time, right? And I guess you don't want to underestimate the life gain too. Oh! Dude! We hit 2 Slime Against Humanities there. That's pretty sick, man. Holy cow. Unfortunately, this 5/5 still gets hit by our Burn Down the House, but hey, it's a 5/5, dude. I'm not complaining too much. Okay, they get the other Knight Errant of Eos down. It's looking like... I'd like to... Oh, they're gonna tap. Oh, man, we should wipe this board when it comes time, huh? Oh, Invoke Calamity. We just don't have the mana for it yet. 26 mana total. Do we survive next turn? Should I swing? Should I not swing? We're gonna survive. I'm swinging. Heck yeah, dude. Slime Against Humanity. Alright, mana off the top. Come on, man. I want to see that mana, and instead of going like burn, we're gonna go Invoke Calamity a couple of these Slime Against Humanities. Probably the one from our hand would make more... Well, no, I guess 2 from the grave. Those 2 generate a little bit smaller slimes for a second. Yeah, we survived this turn. Heck yeah, we do. Like, they're gonna bulk up the Wardens, but they should be a little bit scared here. We do have 11 trample damage here. If they tap too much, they could be in danger. At that point, if they do tap too much and we see a mana, we go Burn Down the House Devils instead. One in the air. Vigilance is scary. So they're going to play it slow. So now we want to wipe the board. It's a tapped land, though. It's a tapped land. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Okay. Well, now we might be in danger. Now we probably want to keep the slimes back. Another slime. Send it to the grave. Yeah. All right. Well, if we swing, we do force 1 block, but they could totally just block with this Warden and be totally fine and then threaten us. Just threaten us in general, right? So we're going to save everything back. We're going to get this nice chunky 8/8 on the board. Yeah, the big problem here is if they buff this board state with anything, then this Warden's getting through in the air no matter what. And that's going to be a huge chunk of damage, and then we're going to have to like be able to stop enough on the ground to not take like 9 damage on the ground Yeah, dude, this could be it. We have to block all the big things no matter what, first of all. Okay, they're going to buff it in the sky. Math is for blocker's turn, and I'm not really going to math it out. We just got to make sure we block all the big things. Is that it? And 12. Look at us, guys. These slimes are doing the thing. And then with the trample damage, oh, heck yeah, man. Hey, good game, opponent. Very good game. Why can't that be the first game of the evening, huh? Come on, Arena. That would have been an epic showcase. Now, we did end up getting an untapped source there, so that was 6. We didn't need the 6, but there were a lot of options there, even if they had some blockers back, to try to push that last bit of damage through for sure. So, for example, right, like we totally had Invoke Calamity. Okay, well, hold on now. Oh, there's so many options. And we got to remember, like, the Slime Against Humanities don't have haste. But there would have been an option, technically, with the Invoke Calamity to do Brotherhood's End and grab one of the Slimes, too. Give a little mini board wipe. Like 2 of their creatures would have survived, but all of our slimes would have survived. So that's actually really sick. So if they ended up keeping more like blockers back on the ground, for example, like grabbing that Brotherhood's End would have been pretty cool. Or we could have just slammed Devils on Burn Down the House. That probably would have worked well enough too, since they were getting so low. Now, I do wonder how much damage that Thran Portal ended up dealing to them throughout that whole game as well. Yeah, much better game than the first one, but had we seen that hand against that first game, I still don't think, I think Selesnya Enchantments would have easily run away with that, you know what I mean? And like the opponent had some great stuff packed into their build, so. Right. I definitely like seeing Brotherhood's End in the opener. So maybe we'll talk about 4 of these when we go over the deck at the end. Probably not though, but. All right, Commercial District, get that Surveil. I like the 4th mana. I'm going to keep it. And it's a red source too, so. Fightful Hexmage. All right. So, I guess tapped land, right? First of all. Too early in the game for us to be doing anything else. Okay, keeping 2 open is probably just spot removal, but we don't mind spot removal too much against the slimes. Like, it's totally fine. Like, we'll just keep on playing them, you know? Oh, no spot removal. Nothing from the opponent, actually. Nothing for 2 mana. Oh, sorcery speed spot removal. I should have known. Okay, burn down the house. Okay. I'm against humanity. We're just gonna keep going, man. Next one's a 4/4. And then mana off the top. I'll tell you what, 26. Let's hope it feels like 26 this game. Heck yeah, it does, dude. Okay. Now we're talking. So we have Invoke Calamity available, like now, but I'm gonna wait. We're gonna start with the swing, as these slimes need to start running away with this, right? We could have went Restless Ridgeline too. So they're wondering, do they block? I would say no, right? Especially since we're trampling through. But we're just gonna keep it simple, man. Another Slime Against Humanity, and when it comes time to cast 2 of them, we'll do it on the opponent's turn. At the end of their turn, because instant speed, bro. Discard a card. I guess Brotherhood's End. I hope they don't do that again, because I don't want to lose the Burn Down the House. Of course, with all 4 Invoke Calamities, there would be a way to bring the Burn Down the House back. Tenacious Underdog. Okay, land. I guess I don't mind it. I did request that it felt like 26, and it feels like 26, so we're fine. All right. So that trade there is pretty good for them, huh? We could power up Restless Ridgeline. It's a 3/4. Is the power up better than the Invoke Calamity for the turn? Maybe. I'm going to say probably not, especially since I really just want to... I really want to use the Invoke Calamity to do the thing before they drop like a Graveyard Trespasser and break my heart. Oh wait, Graveyard Trespasser just exiles, so technically that would still work, but I still need enough to hit out of the grave with the Calamity too, so... Okay, so at instant speed we have Invoke Calamity for the end of their turn. This is going to be sick, dude. What ends up happening is like the slimes will be a little bit weaker. Whoa, Phyrexian Obliterator is going to be a huge problem against this build, dude. Oh, no. Well, we have to, like, get the damage through without... We have to just... Yeah, I don't know what we have to do, man. Invoke Calamity to block the Hex Mage, first of all. I almost passed that. Okay, a 3/3, a 4/4. Oh, I did pass it. Wow, dude. Okay, 3/3, a 4/4. We have a power up on the Ridgeline. Another Ridgeline. Okay. Yeah, we could have blocked that Hex Mage, so that was an oopsie-daisies. So if we swing, they block, that's 7. We power up Ridgeline. We block the 4/4. We sacrifice the extra devils to the Obliterator, right? That should do it. That should be 12, unless I'm miscounting. I guess they could, yeah, so they block the 4/4. Down to 2, and then we sacrifice the devils. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then poke the opponent's face. Very nice, actually. Dude, I thought the Obliterator was going to be our demise. Just all to face. I was going to say we could poke the Hex Mage too, but... Very nice, dude. Holy cow. I can't believe it right now. I'm very satisfied with that, huh? That was sick. All right, man. Let's keep the ball rolling. Let's keep the slime ball rolling, huh? Ah, jeez. Well, with those two games, I kind of want to go up against Selesnya Enchantments again. Like, because I keep bringing up, like, I feel like they're favored no matter what, but maybe there's a way through. That Invoke Calamity was sick. Like, everything about that was just so cool. Felonious Rage. Ooh. Potentially giving haste to some big ol' slime balls. And the opponent goes first here. Tap lands for days. Right. So. Yeah, I'll try it. Those last two games were pretty sick. We should push the outer limits of the build, especially since we don't have too much early stuff anyways. Okay, 3rd mana. Like that. That was one of the big... And it's untapped too. Wow, nice. Of course, our forest is untapped as well. The Reunion. Swiftwater Cliffs. Oh, Cityscape Leveler. Okay, this could be fun. Well, we'll have our 3rd for our Slime Against Humanity to play that 3 turns in a row. Don't get to see too much Cityscape Leveler, man. I love that card. Good to see on the opponent's side of the board once in a while, right? It's actually surprising how little, like, you know, I was saying we see a good variety in Standard overall. Yeah, so I guess like some of these style of builds you'll only see 1 out of 100 matches or so, but whatever the opponent's playing right now, I don't think I've seen this one at all yet. Steam Core Scholar. Okay. Sick. So they're probably going for a reanimate. Like, is it reanimator then? Potentially. Oh, Rouse Reinforcements is a turn late again. Wow. That's funny. All right, let's get Slime Against Humanity down. So, yeah, 3 mana, 2/2 Flying Vigilance. When it enters, draw 2, then discard 2 cards unless you discard an instant or sorcery card, or a creature with flying. Interesting. This seems decent, huh? Oh, Sahili. Create a token that's a copy of another target creature or artifact you control, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. Gains haste. Then sacrifice it at the beginning. Okay, this could be really explosive. I'm kind of afraid. So let's start. I really doubt they end up blocking this. We're going to need to get damage through for sure. I'm not sure if the opponent's deck is the type of deck that's running board wipes. But I'll tell you what, man. It's pretty dangerous to not run board wipes nowadays. So it's just like, if it's Brotherhood's end, that would be potentially silly, right? Maybe it's a burn down the house then. That way they have that utility to actually go devils. Okay, so they copy... Yeah, just creature artifact. So they get that ETB on the Steam Core Scholar. That's sick, opponent. That's really cool, man. Collector's Vault too. Okay, another way to plug stuff into the grave. Ill-timed Explosion. Nice. Nice. I've only been able to play with that once. Dude, we got to revisit. Is it, huh? Invoke Calamity. Okay. So first of all, 1 mana over here. We're at 14. I said that this deck could potentially be very explosive, so we might die next turn if we full swing. Either way, they're probably going to just copy Scholar, and I don't know what that explosive damage would be outside of getting a chunky thing on the board and copying it. We're going to have some fun here, man. Slime Against Humanity. That's a 4/4. With Trample. It lands. Okay, Felonious Rage on the 4/4. Yeah, we're just going to keep pushing. Because if they don't kill us with some awesome play, or some awesome reanimation or something, then we might kill them next turn. So yeah, bring them down to 9, and we still have a lot of trample damage here, and like land off the top would be huge for us. The 6th mana comes down. Oh, they could easily wipe the board with another ill-timed explosion, huh? They wipe the board, though. They go for the copy. Yeah, losing the Sahili and everything would feel pretty bad. Maybe they got rid of the ill-timed explosion because they didn't plan on wipe. Oh, there it is. Ill-timed explosion number 2. They now have an option to do 4 damage to everything if they have the discard here. They do. They actually discard an Atraxa. Okay. Not great not seeing the mana here, guys. Mana's kind of felt like it's been all over the place, where I'm like, hey, I hope it feels like there's 26 in here. Sometimes it has, and sometimes it hasn't. A couple rounds reinforcement could be pretty good. But what would have been much better, of course, is having that Invoke Calamity for the end of their turn. Still, restock this board with some tokens, totally fine. Also, if we see mana off the top, we're going to need that to be a red source as well for the Invoke Calamity, so that's definitely noteworthy. If it's a forest, it's just going to have to be a couple turns of burn down the house. A 3rd ill-timed explosion, guys. Oh, man. Opponent's deck is actually really sick so far, dude. Like the Atraxa, I guess it's just a full-blown reanimator build, but what? Hold on. What in Is It Colors reanimates like that? I haven't seen the Volt Strider in a while. Let's see here. A lot, actually, just like the opponent's deck, the opponent's deck in general. It's a tapped land. No, we can't power up this Ridgeline either. Okay, well, Okay. So they can collect evidence here, 6, and it can become an artifact creature. And then whenever it attacks, you may cast an instant or sorcery spell from among cards exiled with it. Oh, fully casting out the Atali. Dude, we're in big, big trouble, huh? If that spell would be put into the graveyard, put it on the bottom of its owner's library instead. Cool. Cool stuff. Did they hit a burn down the house off of us? Oh no, what did they hit off themselves? Or was that what they hit off themselves? What? Oh, they hit a Brotherhood's End off of us probably, right? That's probably what that is. And no reason to cast it then. And then they hit the burn down the house off of themselves. We ran up the Vault Strider for 2 of their devils instead of the Atali. I guess they want to keep a blocker back from the Ridgeline if that's our plan. Swing for 5. Or I guess they could have collected evidence too, right? To power that up. Swing for 7 total. Opponent's deck is really sick, man. I'm kind of like taking it all in and also relearning some of the cards too. Yeah, the 5th mana. 5th mana is great. So on their turn would be better for the Invoke Calamity. The 5th mana is great, but an untapped source would have been much, much better, huh? Let's pass it on over to them. So if we use the one from our hand, then the Slime Against Humanities that we're casting with Invoke Calamity will be a little bit larger. We cast 1 from hand, 1 from grave. We could have also technically cast the one from hand and cast the Felonious Rage back. Oh, that would have been pretty sick, actually. But yeah, no, their Atali would have blocked quite nicely there. Okay. So we just, like, hope that the opponent doesn't have a counterspell, but we're in big, big danger, huh? Still gonna have a cool play with the Invoke Calamity, hopefully. Oh, buddy. Yeah, no, that's a problem. So we'll have really cool chump blockers for the turn then, I suppose, right? And yeah, if they power that up by collecting evidence, they'll have all the devils to swing in with too, so there they go. All right. Powered on up. Let's not miss the blocking step this time round. So they go for that swing. All right. Oh, actually, no, that's not enough. I was gonna say, if we could do Invoke Calamity and do Burn Down the House as well, but it's just, you know, they have big old chunky creatures. But that's something to consider, right? Like, instant speed Burn Down the Houses could be pretty sick. So 1 from our hand, 1 from the grave is going to be 4 for the first one, and then 5 for the second one. Still really cool stuff, isn't it? And they only have 1 mana available. Since we are at... Oh, these all have trample too. Oh, that's a shame, huh? So we die no matter what then. Aw, man. Hey, good game, opponent. I really like your deck. That's really sick. I kind of want to look at the grave real quick just to kind of like get a clearer image of it all. You know what I mean? We got 4 games in. I'm going to try to get 1 more, but like real quick. Game, let me look at the graveyard. So the Saheeli, the Atsushi, the triple ill-timed explosion. However, they ended up discarding 1 earlier. That must have meant that they had a lot in hand already. Dude, like the Stern Lesson for the Power Stone tokens and stuff too. I guess the Atraxa's in here to cast out off of treasures, but worst comes to worst, you just discard it, use it as evidence and stuff. The Steamcore Scholar's one that I haven't seen too much of too, and it just kind of looks like a solid card, especially if you're copying it with Saheeli. Just like everything about the opponent's deck there, guys. That was really neat stuff, man. Massive props to the opponent. So what am I noticing with the build so far? Yeah, it definitely fits into that jank category. I don't think it needs 27 land, but it might, right? It kind of feels like the land is really hard to come by here. Okay. This is totally fine. Heck yeah, the early life gain, the early chump blockers. couple Slime Against Humanities to get the ball rolling. And so far, the 16 Slime Against Humanities have felt pretty good too, right? Like, you want to see it every game because that's like the main thing. And we're not like seeing too many of them. So yeah, overall, yeah, nice. Hey, maybe we'll hit a couple Slime Against Humanities again off the Seed of Hope. But honestly, mana would be good, and then grab the mana. Selesnya, is this the rematch I've requested? It's the rematch that I've requested, guys, and we don't have a Brotherhood's End. All right, let's see what happens. Burn down the house in the grave. That is probably going to be a problem. But we have all the Invoke Justice, listen to me, guys. Invoke Calamity defined as well. Trump blockers isn't great against trampling, guys, so we'll see. I'm pretty sure that Kamiya Transience is going to trample in easy peasy here. Yeah, because I feel like Selesnya enchantments would be favored like no matter what against this build. So like, especially depending on what you're seeing. Easy peasy to swing on in. And we're just going to let it go because at least these 1/1s can chump block other things. Down to 19. Get our third on the board, and we have 5 total mana for when it comes time. 4 of them are red, so if we see an Invoke Justice, Invoke Calamity, bro, send help, huh? I think we could swing here for the turn. We probably do want to put a little bit of pressure on, even if it's not a lot. And if they block, that's totally fine too. Like, I don't mind that at all. Just less on their board is fine and dandy, especially less enchantments when a lot of the cards in their build care about having enchantments on the board. If I kept it back, we could have tried to like triple block the Kamiya Transience, but it would have been a triple block, right? Like you have... Oh, they're saving back for the turn, guys. Okay. Okay. Seed of Hope before playing Slime Against Humanity, because we might hit more. Lands to the Grave, I don't mind that, really. I guess we could have done that before playing the land, too, right? Just in case we found something else we wanted to do. Or, like, a tap land. I don't think we would have played a tap land for the turn, but you guys know what I mean. Alex comes down. Okay, we could triple block again the Kamiya Transience. That seems pretty bad. Oh, or double block. They didn't plug the... They don't want to put all their eggs in one basket, I see. Hey, Copperline Gorge. See, now the mana feels like 26 again. Darn it. So we're probably going to end up keeping it at 26, in other words. Okay. Well... Successfully playing this out tap should be fine, especially... Well, yeah, no swings. We're just going to go Slime Against Humanity again. No attacks. Passing it on back. This is tough because at some point... Well, yeah, at some point they're just going to completely run away with this, right? Yukai Naturalist. This could be that point. Audacity could slam down onto Calyx. If Calyx's damage gets through, then they get to copy like the Jukai Naturalist. Okay, many journeys. So this is interesting too, because this version of Selesnya Enchantments is also running stuff that we don't generally see in Selesnya Enchantments. Oh, Who Endures? Okay, all right. That's what I'm talking about. We probably just take out that Calyx, period, right? We can play Rockfall Vale as the land. Who Endures the Calyx, probably like just on our turn, make sure they don't have any protection for it. The Welcome's pretty bad, but like, I mean, I can't imagine a bigger threat than this Calyx. Just like Calyx number 2 comes down so easy though, too. And at some point we have to consider like full swings and whatnot. but they have good blocks. They like block our 4/4, for example. They block our 1/1. 5 gets through down to 10. Like, getting them down to 10 isn't that significant when they're going to be gaining life, too. Actually, they'd be at 12 then, at that point. All right. Yeah, doing that while they were tapped out seems important against Selesnya enchantments. They do run protection sometimes. Sometimes protection comes in the form of Skrelv, for example. They wouldn't have had that. But other times, it's gonna be the 1 mana. Why can't I remember the name of the protection that also gains you 2 life, dude? We played with it so much. Okay, a second welcome comes down, and that Kami of Transience is a 9/9, bro. So even if we see like more ways, like a burn down the house off the top, it's just not gonna work, dude. So we're gonna have to find a different way around the Kami of Transience. They gain 3 off the many journeys. This is tough business. Oh, they gained 3 and then lost 1. Looks like they used their brushland. Opponent is also wondering, when is it going to be time? Invoke Calamity off the top, dude. Holy cow. We probably want to save that for their turn and hope that they slip up and start swinging. Right. Yeah, I think so. We're going to try to double down on 2 Slime Against Humanities on their turn. There's a problem with these Spirit Clerics, though, as they're going to be able to block wide. If we full swing, we lose a couple. All right, one more turn. I'm hoping that the opponent swings in, and I'm also hoping they don't generate too many Spirit Clerics here too, which is asking for a lot, huh? But the Invoke Calamity is a really sick draw there. Yeah, the double welcomes. Stock in their hand. All of their enchantments cost 1 less. So what we're gonna end up doing, maybe we should have swung, because what we're probably gonna have to end up doing just to survive is wipe the board, and we're gonna lose everything too. This is gonna be a problem, huh? So that's gonna be 1 up to 4, right? Up to 4. Spirited Companion comes down. Okay. Everything goes in the air. Yep, just just for survival, huh? So they draw a card. See if they have anything else that we could wipe. I should have swung, guys. I really should have swung. I mean, we should have known that it was all gonna pop off, you know what I mean? So 1 more spirit. Now what's this do? Target non-land permanent you don't control. Okay, so that is up to 5, right? So that comes in. We're trying to hit as many of these creatures as possible is the thing, right? They still have 1 mana available. Okay. Okay. I'm also using my timers here. So do they get any benefits from the swing? Go full swing. All right, let's do this. Let's do this, man. Burn down the house, 5 damage to each creature, and also gain some life off of the Seed of Hope. Let's go. Oh, man. See, that's why we should have full swung, because we lose everything, too. But we're alive. Oh, geez. Another Kami of Transience. Okie dokies. A good game opponent. So, with the full swing, I mean, we were going to die anyways, huh? That was all pretty sick. The deck kind of does a thing every now and then, right? But oh buddy, is it janky too. So let's go ahead and go over the deck list again here. Or I should say the more in-depth discussion of the deck list, as that's what we've been doing for the past week, and it's been nice. I think you guys have enjoyed it as well. Feedback has been good, saving the more in-depth discussion for the end. Okay, guys, so a few things, right? in the meta that we were seeing there, especially, like, holy cow, man, we're just like, Brotherhood's End here. Oh, okay, we might actually have a chance. So, do we actually want 4 of these? Maybe, maybe. It's going to depend on what you're seeing. If every other game is going to be Boros, then you might honestly want 4. Like, if you are actually slamming into Boros go wide that often, then yeah. Or realistically, anything that even kind of comes close to a go wide strategy. Like, even like, I'm thinking soldiers. We don't get to see too much soldiers nowadays, but we definitely still see it. And then Selesnya enchantments too. If you're seeing a lot of that, as I've been rambling about throughout this entire video, I do think Selesnya enchantments is just like always going to be favored against this build, just based on how it's set up. You know what I mean? So we didn't get to see Audience of Trostani today. You get that 0/1 plant creature token. Then you draw cards equal to the number of differently named creature tokens you control. So in this build, differently named creature tokens would include the devils, right, off of Burn Down the House, the plant, the slime, so that's 3, the elementals, that's 4, and then technically if the creature dies off the Felonious Rage, the detective. So potentially 5 different, but I think more often than not, you're looking to draw 2 to 3 off of the audience when it comes into play. Being sorcery speed definitely holds this back, and also being a 1 of in here holds it back a little bit too, as obviously we didn't even get a chance to see it today. That's something to think about though, because restocking our hand in a couple of those games wouldn't have been a bad thing at all. The double Seed of Hope was actually really sick, and you guys saw how when you are doing something for 5 mana off the Invoke Calamity, like a Burn Down the House, then it is nice to have those extra 1 mana cards to be able to hit with it, so you're getting more bang for your buck off of the Invoke Calamity. Just hitting like any of our double 3 mana, or hitting 2 of any of our 3 mana cards. Wow, that was a mouthful. So double Slime Against Humanity is obviously like the main go-to that we're trying to do with Calamity, but the opponents are always just putting on so much pressure all the time anyways that's actually pretty hard to do. And you're more often than not going to be using that as like utility, for example. I guess you could totally do like Brotherhood's End, right? And a Slime Against Humanity. And then if our slimes are big enough, it could potentially be like a one-sided board wipe. So might be another reason to go up to 4 Brotherhood's End as well. It's tough though, because we have no real way to filter out the Brotherhood's End either. You know what I mean? Over in the mana base, guys, the tapped lands definitely held us up more often than I was thinking. Something I would consider, it's actually dropping a Restless Ridgeline down to 3 and going up a 3rd commercial district, which I appear to not have. I'm actually going to craft that right now. There we go. Okay, so 3 commercial districts. I actually really like the surveil on this, and we barely got to use the Restless Ridgeline. Again, we're kind of just like always just hanging on for dear life. And so there weren't too many moments where we were like, oh yeah, we can power up Ridgeline and get that last bit of damage through. That'll happen every now and then, but not often enough to warrant all 4 of them, I'd say. And so just having that extra surveil a Slime Against Humanity into the grave, that just seems a lot better to me. The 26 land, I guess, was fine. Like, there were so many moments where we were like, okay, 5th mana off the top, that would be nice. And then it's a tapped land, which we're still going to have a decent amount of tap lands over here. But Who Endures was a good draw against that build. Oh, one more note for the Invoke Calamity too. Not having any 4 mana cards means you're not going to be like grabbing Rouse Reinforcements and effectively using all 6 of the free mana off of the Calamity, right? So if we had a 4 mana instant or sorcery that we could plug in here that we wouldn't mind, then it wouldn't be a bad idea. I just don't know exactly what that would be and what we would drop. Because I feel like the 16 Slime Against Humanity was totally fine. Could we go down to 14? Probably not, without taking away part of the soul of the build, but maybe that would make it less janky too. Couple 4 mana instant or sorceries, what would we add? I don't think I'm going to personally add anything. I actually just really liked the 16 of these. I don't want to drop any, so yeah. I think that's it. I think my only change is going to be Commercial District, and then I think it's just like super jank. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of ways to make this better, maybe like more early removal, but then like you're getting to that point where you're really stepping into that late game or that mid-range shell with all that early removal and stuff too, and you're not going to be as explosive as some of the other late game decks that are out there. So yeah, it's a problem. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep it like this. And just, yeah, keep it janky. I don't know if there's actually a way to make this much better. And you're going to be relying so heavily on your board wipes all the time anyways, so like extra spot removal could be good, but more often than not, you're just going to be happy to slam a board wipe. So, okay, guys, hey, made it this far into the video for real. Y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you. Make sure you check out that description where we got that Discord link as well as that Patreon link if you're interested in supporting the channel that way. Okay, guys, I will see you in the next video.